When one country is down on its knees, reduced to zero, it only takes one thing to bring them down into the negative. Here is how the film came to be. After the release of Shin Godzilla back in 2016, Shinichi Uguchi, its co-director, stated that another Godzilla film from Toho won't be possible until after 2020 due to the contract with Legendary Pictures, which is weird considering that the anime trilogy exists, but I'm guessing they're ignoring it now. Good. Or in which case, they can't release a film in the same year that Legendary released their own version of Godzilla. In 2018, Keiji Oda, Toho's executive, revealed that Shin Godzilla won't get a sequel. However, 1 year later, the studio began a Godzilla Room division devoted to planning new Godzilla projects. It was after the release of The Great Wall Archimedes, the producer Minami Ichikawa appointed Takashi Yamazaki to make the new one. Yamazaki, born in 1964, is a renowned filmmaker in Japan. He is famous for the Always Sunset on 3rd Street films. The second one, if you may recall, had a cameo of the King of the Monsters in the beginning. That wasn't the only time where the King worked with Yamazaki. Godzilla the Ride, Giant Monsters Ultimate Battle in 2021 was his second time. From there, the wheels started turning. On February 18, 2022, Robot Communications, a Japanese production company, announced the film with a working title Blockbuster Monster Movie via a casting call. Later, Toho confirmed that the project is a new Godzilla film slated to release on November 3, 2023, the 69th anniversary. Nice. A few notes were added stating that the film was going to be a remake of the original 1954 film and it would be a period piece, taking place in a post-World War II Japan, late 1945 till early 1947 to be exact. This was cited after Yamazaki stated in an interview, "You can't have Godzilla unless it's the Showa era." While I'm on Yamazaki, not only is he the director, but he's also the writer and the special effects supervisor. As for the premise, this is his pitch for the film. Post-war Japan has lost everything. The film depicts an existence that gives unprecedented despair. The title was created with this in mind. In order to depict this, the staff and I have worked together to create a setting where Godzilla looks as if fear itself is walking towards us, and where despair is piled on top of despair. I think this is the culmination of all of the films I have made to date, and one that deserves to be experienced rather than watched in the theater. I hope you will experience the most terrifying Godzilla in the best possible environment. The title would not be revealed until much later. Filming began in the Kanto and Chubo regions of Honshu on March 17, 2022 and wrapped up on June 11. The music was handled by Naoki Sato since he and Yamazaki collaborated on numerous occasions. The end result was Godzilla Minus One, released in Japan on November 3, 2023 and here in North America with subtitles on December 1, 2023. At the time of this recording, the film has earned numerous acclaim from both critics and audiences, earning a 98% across the board on Rotten Tomatoes, earning over $78 million at the box office, and only on a budget less than $15 million, as most people would think. Yeah, the budget is less than $15 million rather than $15 million exactly. Even Yamazaki confirmed it himself, stating, "I wish it were that much." But aside from all that, here's the film's plot synopsis. Imperial Japan had started a war with China in the late 1930s and now the United States in late 1941, thus starting the Second World War for the latter. But things would turn for the country after the Battle of Midway and the entire Pacific Theater. In 1945, the country was desperate and relied on the kamikaze, basically suicide pilots, whose goal was to destroy the U.S. Pacific Fleet, first specifically aircraft carriers, but later on, any ship they come in contact. The Battle of Okinawa was a shining example. But there was one man who had different ideas. In 1945, Koichi Shikishima, a suicide pilot, goes against his orders and lands on Odo Island where he meets the lead mechanic, Tachibana. That night, he comes across a pre-mutated Godzilla and all but Shikishima and Tachibana are killed by it due to the former not shooting the animal. Now filled with survivor's guilt, he returns home only to find his home in Tokyo destroyed by the firebombing on March 10th of that year. Soon, he and Noriko and a stray child, Akiko, stumbled into a family. In 1947, however, Shikishima's demons will come back to haunt him when a radiated Godzilla reaches Japan, but he will not be alone. Now for my thoughts. One word can describe what I just saw. Wow! I heard so much about this film, but I didn't think it would be that good. Holy shit, this film is fantastic. The one thing I didn't expect to see in a retro setting is drama carrying the film instead of the title character. But it works. Hell, if the film didn't have Godzilla in it, it would still be a great film. As a person who is currently studying the Second World War, this film grabbed my attention the moment the opening started. No spoilers, obviously, but this film deals with one man survivor's guilt and how not doing his duty gets people around him killed. Everyone around him wants him to move on, but as he said in the film, there are some things that he can't do unless he fulfills his unfinished duties. And he's not the only one. I've always wondered what a post-1945 Japan would look like, and I got a glimpse of that. It is also enhanced by the characters. Not a single flaw can be found in them, and even when the film slowed down, they are still interesting to watch and well executed. Another character that is executed well is Godzilla. Let me say this right now, never in my life have I ever been scared by a Godzilla. This one scares the absolute shit out of me and I love it. The CG on him looks great, but there are some parts that look a little jank. And the sound design, oh my god, it's so good. And yes, the film took the phrase atomic breath very literal, and all I can say to that is, well, you're basically fucking dead. The last thing I want to mention is the music. Naoki Sato did a great job with the music. Bringing back Godzilla's old theme was a nice touch. I love the ambient pieces, but my favorite out of all of them is Divine. The entire track is like you pissed off God so badly and now he's going to fucking kill you. Godzilla Minus One overall is a fantastic film and easily a contender for best film of 2023. I would even go so far as to say that this is better than Shin Godzilla. Yes, it is that good. Would I recommend it to those who aren't familiar to Godzilla? Heck yes! And I guarantee that they will not be disappointed. And so, we've come to the end of this amazing journey. Like I said in episode 48 remastered, the Brumakian podcast will no longer be called the Brumakian podcast, but will be going by a different name, and it will be moved to my gaming channel. And I have a few things to get done on this channel, like finishing the current novel and getting started on the new one, since that was supposed to come out this month, but it got delayed into January. Well, I guess there's nothing else for me to say other than this has been Demetrius signing off. Be well, stay safe, take care of yourselves, and have a good day.